Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cal Murata here with Buckeye Fan Takes. Ohio State, huge win against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, 30-14. Let's see what the fans have to say about it. What's your name, sir?
My name is Eric.
Eric, great to have you here. What are your first impressions on the big win today?
Well, defense is still trash. Dwayne, I love Dwayne. He's right here. He's the man. I mean, running game needs to pick it up. Secondary, linebackers are still bad, but we're still missing Bosa, so eventually it'll come up. We just got to get ready for Michigan State.
Yeah, definitely. How do you think, obviously a lot of pressure today, a few sacks against Haskins. How do you think he handled the pressure? How do you think he handled the pressure?
Well, I mean, he hasn't been great against pressure, but against, what was it, TCU and against Penn State, he handled himself well, but eventually it's going to come, especially against Michigan, because they have a good defense, good defensive line. But, I mean, we'll just have to see. We got to rely on the running game, which has been a non-factor in the last 3 weeks. So we'll see.
Out of all the things you listed, running game, our linebackers, our secondary, what do you think our biggest weakness, the Buckeyes' biggest weakness has been this entire season?
Oh, it's definitely the back seven. Linebacker, secondary. I mean, Werner, I've met a big Pete Werner fan the entire season. I mean, he's just weak. All of our linebackers are weak. I'll just say that. Minus Malik Harrison, but they got to be able to protect against a slant pass. Like, they had 4 completed slants for like 50 yards. You got to do something, man. You got to do something. So.
Do you have any final thoughts for all the Buckeye fans out there? Any predictions for the Bucs this season?
Natty? The Natty? I think that's going to happen. Oh, yeah.
I got to go Bucs for all the fans out there?
Go Bucks!
Cool. All right, what's your name, miss?
My name's Lauren.
Lauren, it's great to have you here. What are your first impressions on the big Bucs win today?
They did awesome. It was such a fun game to watch.
How do you think the offense did against the Minnesota team?
They freaking killed it. Killed it. Dwayne Haskins killed it.
How do you think our defense did against this Minnesota team?
Don't judge me. I'm the worst person to do this ever. Defense killed it. Everybody did awesome. We won. Smile because we're on Snapchat.
Do you have anything, any final things to say to all the fans out there?
No. Go Bucks!
What are your guys' names?
My name's Lauren.
Dave.
It's great to have you guys here. What are your first impressions on the game today?
I didn't know what you're talking about.
I thought the offense was a little sluggish. The defense, obviously, couldn't get things going and getting some stops. They had a couple of turnovers, but, we'd like to see them not give up the big play and really, buckle down.
What is the biggest thing you think this team needs to work on?
Definitely defense, yeah.
And how long have you been a Buckeye fan for?
Since I was born.
It's not a long time. Well, it's great to have you and the fans here. We're happy to have you here. What are your predictions going forward this season?
I mean, it's national championship or bust, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything, final things to say out there to all the fans?
No, go Bucks.
Can I get a go Bucks?
Go back!
What's your name, sir?
Tom.
Tom, great to have you here. First impressions on the game today?
Pretty unsatisfying win. Score didn't really reflect how close it really was.
Yeah, definitely a little sluggish.
Yeah.
Both sides. Do you think the offense or defense has more to work on going forward this season?
Definitely the defense, but seems like they're having trouble running the ball too, and that's a little bit of a concern also. So.
Do you think that has anything to do with the line? Obviously, not a big run game developing. Plus, Haskins has been under a lot of pressure. Do you think that's a big factor in it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the offensive line is definitely struggling right now. They need to kind of gel or whatever. They need to work it out.
Do you think they'll be able to figure out things before a bigger opponent like Michigan or Michigan State going down the road?
I hope so. I think they'll be okay against Michigan State. Michigan's going to be tough as always, but they got a lot of time to work on it. So hopefully they start improving because right now they're just kind of stagnating. I feel like.
What part of the defense do you think needs the most work? Because obviously a lot of different problems, like some big rushes today, a lot of passes open on the quick slants. What do you think needs more work? Do you think?
I'd definitely say the secondary. A lot of pass interference calls. They got lucky on one call that could have been a pass interference that the ref didn't throw the flag on. So they definitely have to work on just their coverage.
Any final thoughts for all the fans out there?
No, go Bucks.
Right. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. All right, cool. What's your name, sir?
I'm Travis.
Travis, it's great to have you here as always. First impressions on the game today?
Just lethargic, sluggish. Defense couldn't contain a running game. That running back actually had a lot of yards. Offense was up and down and inconsistent. It's like neither one could feed off the other. There was just inconsistent stretches of that. Very aggravating and frustrating. 2 weeks of this now. Like, it shouldn't matter the opponent. We should be in attack mode and up tempo, and we're not. I mean, no running game, defense overrunning gaps. I mean, it got better as the game went on, but at least the corners play better. Safeties are still, I don't know. I can't answer that.
What do you think is a bigger point of emphasis? The run, the big runs like you mentioned that we were giving up, or like those quick slants and the deeper passes from the safeties?
The slants, because it's still happening. The runs have been less inconsistent. We've been doing a better job stopping it, but those inside slants, they dropped a couple. Minnesota, they game planned it. They had it scouted. I mean, everybody knows we have a hard time stopping it. It's very, very frustrating, and it needs to stop. Either you need to play more zone, or you need to settle on who the two safeties are, because we're constantly rotating in and out. Just pick 2 guys at this point. We're at Game 7. Come on, guys.
Obviously a very deep defensive line. Do you think Bosa being out has anything to do with some of the defensive struggles?
To some degree. I mean, he's talented. He's not only just a good pass rusher, a good run stuffer. He's very instinctive. He hasn't let zone read beat him too often. I mean, we're hurting without him for sure. But, as a collective, we can make up for his lack of production because he's not here. But, I mean, the Penn State game, they rose to the occasion. I was there in Happy Valley. Penn State, they're mean. They're meaner than Michigan fans. I can't believe I just said that, but it's the truth. And, we play to the level of our opponent sometimes. It needs to stop. We have Purdue next week on the road at Purdue, and historically Purdue's a royal pain in the butt to play. So this should be really interesting now.
I was just about to ask, what are your big thoughts, and what do you think we should really work on going into the Purdue next week?
Got to be able to run the football. Like the last drive where they closed the game out, 4-minute drill, I need to see that in the first half. I need you to lean on Purdue and wear them down, or throw screen passes like you did against Penn State. Like, the tools are there. I mean, if you want to run the ball, you got to just do it. Now, the other thing is Dwayne Haskins is not a running threat. It makes it harder when you run a zone read when they just know it's going inside. I mean, they got stopped on a 4th and 1. How conventional. Run it inside, get stuffed again. Need to be more creative. Go under center. Maybe have 2 backs. Maybe have Weber and Dobbins and give them that threat. You just got to be more creative than that, for sure.
And we talk a lot about defense. What do you think offensively we need to work on the most?
Just getting the run game going. I mean, the passing game's there. It's more consistent than I think I've ever seen in the last 2 seasons. They get down the field. They run their square ins correctly. They block for each other downfield after someone makes a catch. Like, the receiving core is there. Like, that part is there. I mean, Dwayne took a couple sacks. Some of that was cover. Some of that was like, you're holding it too long. But that rarely ever happens. But the defenses get better the farther we go. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for your time. Any final impressions for the Purdue game or looking down the season?
Purdue's an adventure. I don't think it should be a 29 or 26-point spread anymore because we're not covering. We'll get through Purdue, and then we get that week off. I think we need it because I think we're still tired from Penn State. We're banged up. You may or may not get Nick Bosa back. We'll see, but let's get through Purdue. Let's get to November, and we win those 4 games like I feel like we can, then we're in the driver's seat. We're in a position where we can't lose. We're too far in. Like, you lose, you're done. It don't matter who it is. So, 1 game at a time. That's it.
What's your name, miss?
Mary.
Mary, great to have you here. What are your first impressions on the game today?
Well, first of all, I want to cry because we can't run the ball. I've said that all year. We couldn't even run against Rutgers. And that's why I wanted to cry. In our defense, how many slants can you give up? 5, 10, 15, 1st and 25, they get it. That's what made me want to cry. Because I'm thinking Purdue, Rondell Moore, we're screwed.
And do you think the running game comes down to imbalance of the use of the backs? Like, do you think we need to use one back more than the other, or do you just think we're not calling the right plays?
No, I think it has nothing to do with the backs. I think the backs are both good. I think you have to work at the running game. You have to physically try to outdo people. And I'm thinking, did our running game really hinge on JT running that zone read? Is that why we can't run now? Because our running backs are running as hard as they can, but we just cannot break them past the line of scrimmage. It's like frustrating.
Do you think it falls on the offensive line? Obviously, the running game wasn't there. A lot of pressure on Dwayne Haskins. Do you think that's a point of emphasis we should really work on going in these few weeks?
It's obviously the offensive line, and Isaiah Prince, I hate to point him out, but he was getting his butt kicked. I don't know, 45, was he a linebacker or something? They quick, small, quick people on our big linemen, and they can't get down and physically take on people. You know, I don't know if we just rolled it out noontime. You know, PJ Fleck, he's running down the field. You know, he's got them all running down the field, row the boat and all that crap. But, yeah, it was when we lost 5 yards on a running play in the third quarter, I about cried. I mean, that was bad. You know, come on. It's not Haskins, it's not the running backs, it's the line. And you got to physically, and to me, to be a good running team, you got to do it over and over and over again and keep working it. Do it running one time, get 2 yards. Run another time, get 2 yards. Run it again. You know, I don't know.
I completely agree with you. Defensively, what do you think the biggest thing that we need to work on is?
Well, how about a slant? You run it like 8 times. Wait till next week, Purdue, Rondell Moore, whatever his name is. They'll be doing that all. I mean, come on. We can't play the kind of defense seems like we're playing. Now, I didn't know it, but I think they said that, like, Harrison was hurt. I don't know, and Cooper was out. And everybody keeps yelling on 11 Warriors and on Bucknuts to play Justin Hilliard, where he played today, and I don't know how good that went. So, I don't know. So,
what are your predictions, Mary, going down the season, whether it's a playoffs, national championship, Big Ten championship? What do you think?
Well,
as of today.
As of today, I'm really, we're screwed because if we can't defend Minnesota, I mean, no disrespect to Minnesota, but they're not the best offensive team down. They have a lot of very young players playing, and they're running a few basic plays. Come on. And Haskins is good. Running backs are good. Can't get them off the line of scrimmage. Our receivers are great. Okay, the offensive line, got to pick it up. And defensive line without Bosa, Cooper, we're not getting any pressure, and then the guys on the back end can't defend. So that's I don't know. I'm hopeful, but Purdue is the scary game next week to me because they're good offensively.
Any final impressions for all the fans out there?
Final impressions is I was so totally bombed. I mean, we won 30-14, but didn't it feel like we were almost losing? That's kind of how it felt to me, and that's a bummer. I don't know if we just rolled it out, noontime. You think you're going to, hey, how about the backup field goal kicker? I mean, where's Nuremberg? I don't know. But this guy, hey, he made a field goal, and that won the game. So, well, go Bucks, and hopefully, and I'm reading 11 Warriors.
What are your ladies' names?
Julian, Caroline.
Jillian and Caroline. Great to have you guys here. First impressions on the game today, go.
I think the Buckeyes did good.
They did amazing.
And how long have you guys been Buckeye fans for?
A long time.
A very long.
Long time for both of you. Do you guys have a favorite player on this team this year?
No.
I don't really know all of them.
Do you have a specific favorite player of all time that you've seen watching them throughout your life?
JT Barrett.
JT Barrett.
JT Barrett's your favorite. Why is he your favorite player?
I don't know. He's just a good quarterback.
He is a very good quarterback. What about you?
He was a very good quarterback to me.
Do you guys have any predictions going down the season for this Buckeye team? Do you think we'll make the national championship? Do you think we'll win the Big Ten? What do you guys think?
I hope they win the national championship.
I think they're going to win the national championship, too.
Great. Do you have any final things you'd like to say to all the fans out there watching?
Go Bucks!
Go Buckeyes!
What's your name, sir?
William Vesey.
William, I've heard that you came all the way out here from California. Is that true?
Yes, I did.
What brings you out here, sir?
Buckeyes.
What are your first impressions on the team and on the game today?
Fantastic game, fantastic atmosphere. Love the band, very, very much.
What was your favorite part of your experience here today?
Just experiencing the entire experience.
Were you mind blown walking through like the corridor and seeing all of the stadium?
Yeah, I saw most of the stadium, and I went over to the women's basketball stadium and saw the history over there too. Yeah. And I was very, very impressed with that.
You think you're going to be a Buckeye fan for a long time now after your experience here?
Absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Do you have a specific play or memorable thing that you experienced today?
The competition, a high level of competition. Yeah. Very, very much so. Big Ten football is at the top level. Yeah. Top level. Yeah.
How do you think the Buckeyes will do this season after you watch them today? I
think they're in contention for the national championship. Hard-fought game today. Yeah. Very, very hard-fought game. Big-time competition, but they got a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Yeah. Their fans have a lot of energy too. Great. Tremendous amount. It means a lot. Yeah.
Any final thoughts for all the Buckeye fans out there, sir?
Go Bucks.